So we're here today with Ricki Cotter from Top Line Carpenters. My man, how are you, brother?
Good.
Awesome, man. So tell me a little bit about the lockdown. How's it been going? What have you been focused on with your business, your team, systems you're working on, etc.?
Yeah, so it's been awesome time. The one big thing that we've really been working on is our target market. So we've spent a lot of time to really break down who they are and how to really push and market towards those people, and also finding out that it's not a bad thing to say no to a lot of jobs. We definitely started doing that over this course of working with TPB, because we've sort of known what we want to do, but now we're really starting to ramp it up with turning down even more jobs just to get to our target market.
And isn't that a great thing when you're clear on who is a good fit, who is a good client, who isn't? And it's so much more empowering when you've got a steady flow of work. You can pick and choose your right kind of jobs, and you say, hey, look, we're probably not the best people for you for this job. I can refer you to some other guys.
Yeah, definitely. It also shows a lot of the work that we've done over the last couple of months of work. We've at the start, we had people calling us up to do little fix-ups around the house and things like that. And now we have people calling us up, and it's just because our website looks better and everything, all our marketing. They call me up and they say, oh, I'm not too sure if this is something that you do, but do you think you can help us out? And straight away we're like, sorry, it's not what we do. We do bigger jobs. But we've got another couple of guys that I know that are starting off in business. And so it's quite good because we can pass them a lot of work as well for the smaller stuff we don't do. So the clients like that anyway. And then I just put in a little cheeky thing at the end, say, look, give this guy a call. He's happy to help you with that. But if you're looking to do any bigger renovations down the track, give us a
100%. Like, it's one of the big things I've noticed about you, other than being incredibly enthusiastic. You're very proactive at getting work done, getting stuff done. What's been your secret to, or I guess, what's worked well for you for taking massive action? So you haven't procrastinated on stuff. How do you structure what you're going to work on, or what you do to get it done?
I think the hardest thing in business is finding a lot of stuff like you always look at the big picture and you go, oh, I've got to work on this, I've got to work on that. And that's what I was doing at the start. And then, I've just sort of broken it down to doing just certain things. So doing one goal and doing it properly. You spoke about at the summit that it's, everyone talks about multitasking, but it doesn't actually work that great. So if you can break it down and do, okay, like in the moment, our main target is really refining our target market. So that's where 80% of our focus is going into, is to working out how to market to that a lot better, and reposition even things with our logos and stuff. And uniforms, we want to make that more appealing to our target market. So we're doing a whole lot of work around that. And we had a big thing a while back with variations where we keep losing a bit of money and had issues with the staff not understanding it. So we just took a good sort of 6 weeks to really knuckle that down. And now we've got a really good system that works with everyone on site.
It's a game changer, right? Like, typically, if you think about it, you got a hill here and a hill here. And over on this hill is a pot of gold. And we've got all these roads or bridges that we're trying to build to get over to this pot of gold. But what often happens is, quite often we'll have 10 or 15 half-built bridges, which just leads to more stress, more uncertainty. Holy shit, I've got to get that done, etc., etc. So if we can just complete one strategy like what you did with the variations, we go over here, we get the pot of gold, which is more money and more time, we bring it back, and then we work on the next strategy. And that way you've got that strategy locked in, it's completed, it keeps functioning in your business, and we build the next one.
And it's hard in business because everyone sort of tells you that you have to do all these things. I mean, if you're in the business for the long run, then you're better off to focus your time, like you're saying, on building that bridge and building it properly. Do it once, do it right, like they say.
Yeah, 100%. And then you're with confidence. This is our system. Here's how we track variations. Here's how we process them. Here's how we price them. Here's what we do each week with the clients. Here's how we position them up front at the beginning in the initial meeting with people, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we've even done it right down with help you guys as well. TPB is
awesome.
We're not only coming up with new systems, we're actually making sure we have it all logged properly and things like that. So we have it all broken down. So if we do have someone new come in, instead of taking weeks or months to try and retrain them, we've got it all written there. And we can actually show them straight away, like, look, this is our process. and just making it a proper system. It's like having actual systems is a huge difference for any business, and builders are the worst for it.
Yeah, because you're running big jobs, you've got a lot of sub-trades to deal with, a lot of people, like there could be 40 to 50 different people involved on a job, from the architect, the engineers, council, sub-trades, the client, blah, 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 blah. Well, I guess, so if variations has made a big difference, walk us through what was happening before.
So
what have you done that's been a game changer to get your variations into play over that 6 weeks?
it's definitely been a hit and miss process getting to the point we are now. So at the start, we basically had the job, had a briefing with our builders on site, told them what the job entailed. Predominantly our work is renovations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit easier to miss variations in that, because in a new build, everything's pretty much straightforward off the plans, unless the clients make it really obvious that it's a variation. Sometimes in renovations, you find something that you didn't know it was there. So we started off with doing that. That wasn't quite working. Then we came up with a variation form, which we adopted off the TPB site and made it fit us. Mm-hmm. And we had that on, we had one job that just, I knew there was a lot of variations on there. We didn't get any forms back. And the issue was, when I sat down with the guys, was the fact that they didn't actually know exactly what was.
Yeah, what's an inclusion, what's an exclusion, what actually constitutes a variation.
Yeah, and I mean, we had the plans and everything there, but again, it was a renovation. So there was just little jobs that were sort of, they had a couple there that was 3 or 4 hours that they thought was in the job, but it wasn't. So that was when I sort of had to sit back and reassess the whole lot and think, God, how can we do this? So that's when we came up with our scope of works form, and completely, so we literally just go through every single stage of the job, what's included. There's a massive note on the top saying that if you're doing a job and it's not noted on this form, please get in touch with Ricki at the office and he will double check it. And if it's not, you've got the variation form there ready to go.
How do you track that each day with what the guys are actually doing versus the scope of works?
Oh,
Is
that's
that
what we've got. Our
responsibility, or
yeah, it's our foreman. So we've got our main foreman on site, who he also sort of double checks. We've normally got 2 teams on the go, sort of bounces between the 2 as well, and just make sure that they're sticking to that scope of works.
Cool.
There are the odd little hiccups which we get every now and then, which he's because we're only just really locking this in the last couple of jobs. The big downfall was we done one big job and we lost, there's probably $25,000 worth of variations on that job.
Was that simply from the guys not picking them up, or was that from not invoicing weekly and then there being a dispute at the end, or a combination?
It was a number of things. The client on that job was one of those very rare clients.
Yeah.
But it was, at the same time, he was a pain in the butt at the time, but he's actually taught us, through that job, he's taught us a hell of a lot of lessons.
Yeah, you either win or you learn, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we've made sure, and we've said to our team that everyone knows on that job, they know his name and cringe, but they all know that we can't have the same processes we had there. So it was that kick up the butt to really make sure we had things refined as perfect as we could. And the whole process, I went back and forward with not only our foreman but our staff as well. Because they're the ones on the front line actually doing it. So I had a couple of different versions of the scope of works, and it was too complicated or it didn't make sense. So we really just had to make it as simple as possible so they can quickly go and look at it in the site box, double check it, cool, it's not on there, it's a variation.
Cool. And do you have a minimum amount that you just carry on with work, like below $500 or below $1,000, or and just walk us through like how you guys actually, okay, this is a variation, what happens next? What's the sign-off process? How long because some things will take ages to price up and some things will be like that.
Yeah, so we've got, basically they've got the form on site, which the foreman will basically draw up what the variation is. Mm-hmm. He can get them to sign it pretty much straight away if they're happy to just continue without a quote. We will still send them a quote, just so they can sort of see that. But so pretty much anything over with around the $500 mark, we've just had clients just say, just go ahead and do it. They sign it off. And away you go. Anything above that is when it sort of gets sent back to the office for pricing.
Awesome. And how much difference has this made with regards to the team, how the jobs run, and interacting with clients, let alone the money side?
Oh, it's been awesome. The biggest thing is our foreman was getting quite frustrated because I was getting annoyed that I was losing money. Sort of kind of blaming it on him, saying, oh, why didn't you do this and that? And he sort of was sitting there going, well, we didn't know the processes. So just having that, the dynamics completely changed as well. And with the clients, they're a lot happier because we also stay as soon as we start the job or before we start the job. I run through with the foreman and the client on site, and we explain to what's happening on the jobs. But every time we include what we do with that variation and the process, and we basically explain it to them as often as we can through the whole process, so they make sure that they know that what they're signing is what they've agreed to at the start.
Awesome, I love it. So when you originally came to us, what were you looking to achieve or learn out of joining the TPB program, and what was the catalyst for making the change?
Well, when we first started off, before I jumped on with TPB, we were a small company that we're only into our third year now. So the first sort of year we done a lot of sort of fiddly stuff, and then picked up a few bigger jobs, but we're still getting smaller jobs. And I always knew where I wanted the business to go, but didn't really know how to get it to there. It was a case of I only knew what I knew. Yeah. So we got to that point, and I knew where I wanted it to. I had the vision for the business and where it was going to go, and but just didn't know how to get there. And that's when I kept seeing the TPB thing popping up for about a good 3 months beforehand on Facebook.
Yep.
And I reached out and got in contact with you guys and haven't regretted it since.
Awesome, my man. And can you share with us a little bit about what were your numbers like beforehand, and your vision, your mindset, and what are your numbers like now? So if we think about revenue, margin, and then your time.
Well, before we got in touch, there wasn't really a margin. We were basically doing jobs at cost pretty much, just mainly due to lack of knowledge.
Sure.
We put on a little bit of a profit on the top, and then that always seemed to get chewed up because of lack of pricing knowledge as well. So at the start, a lot of our jobs that we were doing were all around sort of $20,000 work.
Sure.
We were just doing little bathrooms and decks and stuff like that around the place. Since joining TPB, pretty much straight away we made some changes to our website and really made ourselves look a lot more professional. We got new shirts done, joined Master Builders, and then within that first sort of 6 months we picked up 2 big jobs, sort of over $250K each. Awesome. So we went from a $25,000 budget jobs to doubling that, well, 10 times in it. So it was, and a lot of that was just coming across a lot more professional. Even doing things like we present our quotes to all our clients. We've now got a proper quote template, so we hand it to them in person. And
did you see the action plan debrief that we ran through yesterday off the membership site for Brent Tamati in Sydney?
No, I missed that one.
Oh, it's go back. It'll be time stamped, so it's taken off the best high performing action plans that our members do, and then we improve those, put them onto the membership site, so you can have a look at Brent's. There's about 3 or 4 other ones up there that are epic. So I think
we basically sort of copied a few of the ones from the TPB site and adjusted them to fit our business and stuff like that, and it's worked insanely good. It's been more just as beneficial for us as well as the client, because before we would just email the quote and then come back and forth with a whole lot of questions, where now before lockdown we would go and present the quote to the client and actually sit down and answer, give them sort of 5-10 minutes to have a read through it, and then answer any questions then and there on the spot.
100%.
And then when you're doing that in person as well, the clients actually found that quite beneficial because they got an answer straight away from you.
It's huge, isn't it? And you can say, here's what differentiates us. You're not comparing apples with apples. We're not a variations company. We don't come in at a low price and then add on all this money at the end. We have a separate trust account that your money goes into. Here's how we communicate. Here's how we ensure the timelines are met. Here's where we ensure your budget is stuck to. This is our team. Who's going to be on site? Here's our quality assurance checklist. And all those things just give people massive confidence
Oh,
the
it
best
does.
investment of their life.
We've got, we had one client where we priced up some work. He had another builder come in and his quote was half mine. So I sort of went back to him and we had a look through his quote because it was a friend of ours that was doing it. He sent us this other guy's quote and I broke it down and said, he's going to cost you more than us because we had gone with a fixed price.
Yep.
So the guy was just doing it as a charge up. The guy got in touch with us later a few months down the track and said he absolutely regretted us not going with us because this builder just keeps sending him invoices and it cost him triple what his original quote was. And it was so he was absolutely gutted. But he said to me that he's happy to, if we've ever got clients that are in the same boat as him and they're questioning going with the cheaper guy over a fixed quote, he said definitely get them to give me a call.
Awesome.
He said if I was to go back in time, I'd go with you again.
What have you done that's moved the needle the most for you in the last 18 months? So numbers, marketing, on-site systems, etc. What have been, say, your top 3 game changers?
I think the biggest ones are just doing stuff. So like we've just getting off your ass and doing it. Stop thinking about it, and it's scary as hell doing it. We've now, the one big thing we wanted to do was to get an office space. Because as you can see, this office that I'm in now is my home office, which I haven't been in for probably about 8 months since we've had the office away from home. And it's that alone has been a huge benefit with clients coming in and chatting to us, our subcontractors. That's
huge, isn't it? Just night and day, how you feel, the level of professionalism.
Yeah, the professionalism was the one big reason that we wanted to do it. That was our big benefit that I saw on it. But then it's also been a lot of stuff because all my computer and all my work stuff's at work, not in the home office. When I get home from work, it's just I'll be sitting there going, oh shit, I forgot to do this. And before I pop down to the office and do it, we're now it's like, oh well, we'll have to wait till tomorrow and you can spend time with your family and friends. Exactly. And that's been awesome. And then since we've got in the office, we've got a new bookkeeper as well who comes in two days a week. And she's just absolute pure gold. She's got 15 years in the building industry with another builder that she does 2 days for. This other builder's really well known in town, but he's looking to close up shop in a few years because he's been around for 40 odd years. But he's got some incredible systems. He's well known for it. And this Sonia, new office lady's just showed us how to implement them into our business as well. So having her on board has been a huge asset as well. And she got a bit hesitant when I asked her to write down her job description, what she does, and really break it right down. She was a bit hesitant to do it. She thought, oh, should he replace him? I said, I'd never replace you, Sonia, but it's more for your benefit if you want to go away on holiday for 2 weeks. I haven't done what you do for months or for years. So it means that I can get someone else in, or I can do exactly what you do because you've got it all written down there. So those are the 2 big things. And having Sonia there, she makes sure we do all our backtracking and stuff, all our costings, so we know exactly where all our jobs are sitting. She makes sure that what bills need to be paid, bills that we can push out, which has helped with our cash flow as well, jobs that aren't important. She even gets in touch with some of our suppliers pretty much straight away. Says, hey, look, we've got an holiday invoices due on the 20th, when we'll pay you after that at the end of the month. So now all our subcontractors only get paid at the end of the month. Yeah,
it's such a game changer having a good right-hand man, right-hand woman, and taking a load off your shoulders.
It's absolutely cool. I'd recommend it to anyone if they can find someone. The one big criteria we had was trying to find someone that had a bit of history in the building industry or in the trade industry, just because they've have that little bit of knowledge around stuff and things like that, and because our business can run a little bit different to a lot of others.
100%. How's your mindset changed from where we were 18 months ago, and how's that reflected in changing you as leader of your business?
Oh, mindset's completely changed because I think it's now that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Before it was a bit of an unknown where the hell the business was going to go and stuff like that because I didn't know how to get it there. We're now with the help and the expertise of the TPB team, we've been able to really narrow everything right down to the point where we know what goals we need to focus on to get us to where we want to be. So like every week we've got a goal that we want to achieve, so we make sure we work just on that goal to make it happen. So that's definitely mindset.
What are you working on at the moment?
Like I was saying earlier, that target market, that's our, we really want to refine that. We're looking to push a bit more marketing just while all this stuff's going on again. We haven't had to market really for the last probably 12 months just due to word of mouth work. But we thought we'd better ramp it up now just to, in case things take a turn for the worst, and we want to really make sure, I don't want to, because times are about to change, we don't want to drop our standards, which I know a lot of guys are going to start doing, because it's going to be freaking out going, shit, we just got to keep the guys going, keep the business afloat.
Yeah, more marketing right now, strategic alliances with architects, 1% referral scheme, getting your lead gen magnet, opting into a 30-day autoresponder series, educating people, testimonials, how we work with you, your info pack, all those cool marketing strategies, let alone that Facebook geo-targeted.
Yeah, that's what we're playing on at the moment. It's absolutely incredible. I went back and re-watched it again yesterday.
Yeah, such good training. Doing that well is just going to dominate every other builder in your area. It's gold.
Yeah. And even just working through our target marketing, which I was doing earlier this morning, I was going just basically listing off things that our target market would do. So like the hobbies that they do, and then I even had down that they like to sit in restaurants or go out in the restaurants. And then all of a sudden I thought, shit, I can, on Friday evenings, I can target the middle of the mountain. We're based in Tauranga. I can target right in the middle of the Mount Maunganui town and Tauranga town where the restaurants are.
Rugby games, when people go down to the port to go fishing, or there's a fishing comp on. Yeah,
so just having that little bit of what seems so simple now, which I never ever would have known without having this advice. So now I can go back, and from now on, every Friday we're going to run a little ad campaign, Friday, Saturday, just around the 2 areas in Tauranga where the main restaurants are.
Awesome, I love it.
When they open up again.
yeah, of course. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. I think, we're starting to see the light.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of feedback of people. I'm a member of the B&I group as well, and a lot of people are starting to say that they had sort of 10, 15 grand put away to go travelling this year. And obviously those plans have been squashed, so they're looking to put that towards
awesome
renovations and some work around home.
Awesome, I love it.
So we've just been running the lockdown campaign, which we done last night.
Yep.
Which we've only just sort of started, so we're excited to see what comes out of that.
Awesome, my man. I love it. So what are your results like now? Where are you sitting with regards to revenue, or what you think you'll hit this year? Margin, you said your jobs are 250K. And what is your time like now?
Oh, time's impeccable. Like I said before, not having the office at home means I don't work after 5:30 really. And I'm only really, majority of the time, I'm only really doing between 7 and 5 during the weekdays. Having the odd day to shoot down to the golfing range as well for the odd hour or two. And it's the hardest thing with the mindset was knowing that it's all right to do that. That was the biggest sort of struggle I had at the start, was sort of sitting there going, I should be working. That's just from being a builder for the last 15 years, working 7 till 5 every day. And if you'd snuck off to go and play golf, then you're just slacking off.
Whereas you actually need that as a business owner, that time to recharge, get clarity in your mind, and that's when you'll have some of your best ideas for your business.
A lot of the time that I do is when I'm quite stressed out at work and stuff like that. I'll have times where I'm just sort of freaking out with a few things, and I'll be driving back to the office from somewhere, and I'll just go past the driving range and I'll just sneak in there for an hour or two. And you don't feel guilty anymore, because you know that you're doing it. And it actually, once you've gone and had a pay and you've snuck off for an hour or so, you actually come back a lot more refreshed, because doing something like the golfing range is a perfect one, because you're concentrating on what you're doing. You're not really thinking about work. You want to do something like that. And then you can get back to work. You've forgot about all that stuff before you, have a bit of clarity on what you need to do.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's been absolute gold to get time back. And weekends, very rarely work weekends. That's for the family now.
Love it. Okay, and are you happy to share revenue and margin, or projected revenue and projected margin?
Yeah, well, so like I was saying at the start, we didn't really have a margin before. We were sort of stuck at that 15. At the start, we were stuck at that 15%, which we sort of freaked out about it really moving from there, because obviously it pushed the end cost of the job up. Mm-hmm. And it's only really been in the last couple of months that we've bumped it up to 20%. And even my office lady was like, "Oh, are you sure we should be doing that?" I said, "Yeah," because the guy that she's been with has been at 15% for the last 40 years. So it sort of freaked her out a bit, but we've got jobs at 20%, and it's still working. So that's definitely helped a lot.
Confidence.
Confidence has definitely been the biggest thing, and it's all about your sales at the start. But yeah, revenue's definitely gone up. It's helped with our cash flow, making sure we've got money in the bank to pay the bills.
Awesome, my man. And what do you get the most value out of the summer? The thing I love about you, Ricki, is that you're enthusiastic. You get stuff done. You take massive action. What did you get the most out of the 2 days at the virtual summit?
Oh, definitely. I loved hearing from Wes. Loved having people like that are just energetic, ready to get shit done. Don't piss around, just do it. Yep. I cop a lot of shit from friends and family, because if I've got an idea or there's something I want to do, I just do it. Find a way. Yep. Deal with the consequences, or find a way to limit the consequences. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, Wes was really good, and then also that pinpointing stuff for the home show Houdini, that was just absolutely gold. Such a good strategy, that Facebook geofencing. Yeah, so simple, but yeah, I can guarantee it's going to be so effective. Yeah, we're not going to share that with anyone else. We're going to keep Yeah, I'll keep that on the down low as well for all my builder friends. Exactly. So what's up for the future? Where do you want to take your business? What are your plans? What do you want your business in future to look like? Well, we've basically doubled what we've been doing every year for the last sort of 2-3 years. It'll be awesome to continue doing that. It was good to see what sort of John and Amy were talking about, where just because your end numbers doesn't look like they're going up, you've got to make sure you've actually got more of a profit in there. Yep. So that's our one big thing that we're really trying to push in the moment, is to make sure that we can get better jobs with better profits in those jobs. And a lot of that came down to, like I said earlier, we're losing a lot of money through variations, so that was a hugely important thing. And so I think just having that one simple thing that seems so difficult at the time to deal with is actually going to make a huge difference to that number. And a lot of our clients are more than happy to do it. Oh, 100%. Yeah, their biggest investment of their life. And if you can show them you've got the systems, the processes to take care of that and deliver on what you say, then it's like that charge up guy that was 3 times the price of the quote. Yeah, exactly. Have you been through this training yet? 151 ways? 26 ways to make... I had a quick look at it. I haven't had a proper look through that one yet, though. Game changer, because we went through, we had about 200 plus of our members go through, and there's like 48 ways to improve labour. 30 ways for pricing, 16 ways for subbies, 21 ways to improve your margin on suppliers, variations, 10 strategies, materials, 26. And you just go through and go, cool, done that. Oh, I can do that and that. Yeah, nice. We'll have a look at that. The one big huge benefit that we got out of it was the 1% referral scheme. Yep. And we've actually adopted that for our staff, and our foreman has actually got us 3 big jobs through friends and family, and out of that he's made himself probably an extra $6,000 in a year. So now and we've got one client in the moment that's another good friend of his, which he's going to make another bonus out of if we get the job. How big is that job? That's not a huge one. Well, for what our new target market is, that's about a $220,000 job.
every 220k helps.
Yeah, exactly. And but she was sort of on the fence, and she's gone to get a quote from another builder because we gave her an estimate at the start, and then now we've given her a fixed price, which is something that Russ is always really trying to hammer in, is try and just give a fixed price, make sure you cover every little thing, which having builder prices help.
Yeah.
So when we came back with a quote, it was pretty close to the estimate, but it was a fixed turnkey quote.
Sure.
And I sort of said to her that most of the builders are going to try and convince you to go charge up. And I said, look, here's 3 or 4 of our previous clients that we done charge up and it went over budget because they didn't know the exact numbers at the start. If you want, they're more than happy. They've said they're happy to talk to anyone. I said with a fixed price quote, that's what it's going to be unless there's any variations.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you put those into your quote into an action plan, and you could even have a page on the pros and cons of charge up, cost plus versus fixed price contracts. Yeah, that will help educate people massively.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. She was at the start. It was a bit. Old Ricki would have freaked out because she sort of said, "Oh," because she pretty much said we had the job, and I said, "I just want to give you a fixed quote price first," because she was adamant to do it on the charge up basis, which we had spoken about earlier. So when I gave her the fixed quote, she sort of freaked out a little bit. So I've educated her a little bit on that. So I'm just hoping. But old me would have sort of tried to budge and try and have a play with the quote and stuff like that. Try and drop it down as much as I could to work. But then at the same time, I know my target market. I know that there's a profit in there for us. It's a simple solution for the client because they know exactly where the budget is. And then it actually makes it easier in the end. So I just sort of stuck to my guns.
Exactly.
Said, go and have a chat to these other builders, do what you want, see what they come back, and hopefully she chats to a couple of silly old cowboys out there, which there's plenty of.
Yeah, exactly. What lifestyle / business development growth? Where do you want to end up?
Oh, we'd like to be turning these. We'd like to be turning these 250k jobs to be our smaller jobs. So that's why we're really trying to narrow down our target market. So we want to sort of start going upwards of 500,000 plus. That's our sort of target over the next 2 years, is to really ramp that up. And that's why we've been doing a lot of work on our systems too, because there's no point in doing these big, huge jobs and not having the systems to back it up. Because that's what, in the end, the systems are what can make you look professional.
Yeah, it's all about the systems. All a business is a collection of systems. Systems run the business. You hire and train people to follow those systems, and you and the leader, as the leader, give them the tools, the resources, and the guidelines on what to do every day and every week.
Yeah, exactly. There's a book I read where they were talking about the difference between people. Michael Bird, I think it is, talking about how you've got the business owner. And all that, and that really opened my eyes and just made me look at other builders that I know out there where they're not business owners. Yeah, that's one, E-Myth, right? Yeah. And it's basically talking about how builders think they can be business owners, and that's why so many building firms don't work. You need to get your mindset out of that. And I've got a friend at the moment who's still stuck in that mindset. I've told him to read the book, won't do it.
Yeah, you got to check. You can only grow to the level of your mindset. So if you have the mindset of a builder instead of a business owner, you'll still do things in line each week with what a builder does. So you can grow into that identity. And
I'm working with a family member at the moment, and we're actually working on another business that is completely got nothing to do with building. But from the experience that I've learned of owning a business in the building industry, it's now put me into a huge step ahead on this other business, because I've learned the hard way through my building company that we've actually got a lot of things off the ground a lot quicker just by knowing to have all those little simple systems in place. So it's just going from being that builder to a business owner. And they basically say in their book that once you've learnt the systems, you should be able to move from any sort of business, whether it's a building business to running a restaurant to something like that. So it's once you know the basics of a business.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a restaurant owner at the moment, though.
No, exactly. I mean, I've seen, there's one guy I know who owns a restaurant here, and he's doing some, incredible marketing. He's not sitting down and giving up. And just some of the stuff that he's coming up with is he's really on the ball. He's making sure he can keep things going, keep his reputation out there. So there's a lot of guys, again, in the same with building, that are going to bend over backwards and cry about it.
Yeah.
Or find a solution. So they're the ones that's going to clean up a lot of cowboys out there, I think.
100%. Yeah, it's going to be an era of consolidation, I think, over the next 12 months. And the bad businesses with no systems, process, foundations are going to struggle. The good businesses that put the work in, put the systems in, are going to grow exponentially. And the great businesses are going to pick up a lot of development deals, cash flow deals, distressed properties.
Yeah, definitely. And the banks are happy to give you a bit of money to help out too, because they can see that,
Exactly. You got a solid foundation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Ricki, I love your passion. I love your enthusiasm. I love seeing your success and how much you've grown as a leader in your business. And not just that, you're a great contributor in the TPB community. Great leader. You're stepping up massively, and I love seeing your success, brother.
Yeah, no, the one big thing I love about the TPB side is really the members group. Having that bunch of people that are going through pretty much the same thing you are, the same struggles, the same wins. That's been so beneficial just with that alone. We've had a couple of small issues where we've gone to TPB and everyone said, oh, we've had this on that job, do this and do that. So it's advice from people that are doing the same thing and that have learnt the hard way.
Yeah, it's so good having someone at the same level and then someone that's 1 to 2 steps ahead, and you can see, oh, okay, great, they did this, this, and this. And then someone that's exponentially where you want to be as a bit of inspiration. And
yeah, I think you guys got the perfect system set down. You've got your systems guys, you've got you that are always trying to push it, but then even just having that TPB thing as well with that group, it's like you've got every level that's the perfect thing to help anyone get through. And
awesome.
I think that's what sets you guys apart from everyone else as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Ricki. I love hearing that. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for your time today.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. It was good.
Have an awesome week, and we'll talk soon.
You too, mate. Catch you later.
Thanks, brother. See you, Ricki.